Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've done something a little bit left field and the results have sort of shocked me a little bit and I'd be interested to see your thoughts on them. So if you could leave some comments at the end of the video about your thoughts on it, because geez, it's almost thrown me for a little bit of a six, these results. But here's what we did. So all 11 main Sword and Shield sets, not the holiday sets, so base set, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, the 11 main sets. We've looked at the current booster box price off TCG Player and also the top 10 hits that you can get from each of those sets and added them together. And what we're working out is a ratio between the hits price, so top 10 hits, and the booster box price. Now, the higher the ratio, maybe the stronger the set, but some of these ratios really surprise me. So what we might do, we're going to start off with Sword and Shield base, and I'll sort of run you through again what I did and how I suppose the maths works, and then we'll just roll through the next 11. It's all off, by the way, TCG Player, so it's all US dollars. So sorry, my fellow Australians, it's US dollars that we're looking at today. But the first one here, base set. Now, your top chase card is obviously that Full Art Trainer Marnie. Current booster box price is sitting at $295 US dollars. So that's moved pretty north. Now, the top 10 hits from the set, which Marnie takes up a fair chunk of that. But anyway, the top 10 hits from the set equal $216. So we're working out a ratio between the box price and the hits price. It's as simple as it is. And you could argue that, like I was saying, the higher the ratio, the stronger the set, perhaps. So if you look at Sword and Shield base, the ratio between the box price and the total cost, so adding together all the top 10 hits, is 0.73. Now I can tell you, that doesn't sound great, but I can tell you now, it's not the worst. So I'm sure you get the hang of what we're working through. And I can tell you now, some of these really surprised me. And I do want to make one thing clear though, before we keep rolling through, is that some of these later sets, like sort of your probably Brilliant Stars onwards, are still, well, actually even, oh geez, where are we up to with rotation? Shining Fates just went out of rotation. So did that come before Chilling Reign? Anyway, what I'm getting at is maybe some of these last sets are still in that sort of era, and I think obviously Lost Origin is getting a reprint, but some of these last sets are still in that era for reprints, so that could affect this completely. But what we're working off is today, and that's, you know, we can't talk possible reprints and how that might impact, because obviously a reprint will impact the box price, it'll bring it down, and it'll also impact the hits price, so it'll bring the cost of the hits down. So maybe the last sets are a little bit skewed, but like I was saying, we're working off today. So currently, base set, 0.73 is the ratio between box price and total cost of the top 10 hits. Moving along, obviously the second set that come out is Rebel Clash. Current booster box price sitting at about $213. What's the number one hit from this set? Is it Sonya? I'll bring them up on the screen anyway. I think it's Sonya. Hopefully it is. $187 is the total cost of the top 10 hits, giving us a ratio of 0.87. Now, at the end of this video, what I'll do, I'll rank them from best ratio through to lowest ratio, but you'll get sort of the hang. You'll probably work them out yourself as you're going along, because clearly, obviously, well, not clearly, only by a smidgen, Rebel Clash is a little bit stronger, according to this sort of calculation, than what base set is. Moving along, third one, Darkness Ablaze. Yeah, Darkness Ablaze, currently $149 a box. And the top 10 hits total added together $89 US. And the number one hit, of course, being that Charizard VMAX. So that gives us a ratio from box price to top 10 hits of 0.59. Ooh, that one's looking, boy, that one's looking a little bit rough, isn't it? The fourth main set from the Sword and Shield era, which is, of course, Vivid Voltage. Booster box price currently sitting at $134 US. Top 10 hits, mostly made up from the Rainbow Pikachu, currently sitting at $209. So this is our first set from Sword and Shield where the total cost of the top 10 hits is greater than the booster box price. So currently that ratio sits at 1.56. So the top 10 hits are worth 1.56 more than what the current booster box price is. Now, here's the one, this next one, here's the one that really surprised me because it just gets a lot of shade thrown at it. And I've said all along that it's not that bad a set. I really like the alt arts from it. In fact, the Empoleon alt art is probably in my, and I know it's a left fielder, it's not a fan favorite Pokemon, but the Empoleon alt art is definitely in my top 5 alt arts from the whole Sword and Shield set. I really like the artwork on that. And I also love the Sleeping Tyranitar V. So the next set we got up is Battle Styles. And of course, the Sleeping Tyranitar is the most expensive card from the set. The booster box price, it's currently the cheapest Sword and Shield booster box you can buy, sitting at $112. Now, the total cost of the top 10 hits is $360, which gives us a pretty strong ratio. It's a ratio of 3.21. So the hits are 3.21 times the cost of the box price. Like I was saying, some of these, and look, you can take these figures with a grain of salt and go, well, you know, these figures have no impact on the investability of the sets. You could also go, well, you know, that's actually, maybe this ratio is a fairly strong argument as for the future investability of the sets, because, I mean, isn't that sort of what adds value to a box, is what you can pull from it, as well as its displayability and some other factors? But it's a pretty strong argument to say that the value of the hits you can get out of something should correlate pretty closely to the box price. So Battle Styles, a little bit of a sneaky one there, really, isn't it? Next one, moving along, and this one didn't surprise me, but it might surprise some other people. So Chilling Reign, current booster box price, $142. Total cost of the top 10 hits, $716. Giving us a ratio of 5.04. So the hits are worth, the top 10 hits, if you add them together, are worth 5.04 times the current market price of the booster box. That's just insane, like insanely good. But what baffles me even more about those first 3 sets, the base set, Rebel Clash, and Darkness Ablaze, is, let's say you get a booster box, right? And it costs you, and I'm going to pick on Darkness Ablaze, it costs you $150 US, 149 or whatever it's sitting at, 230 Australian. And let's say you have a God box, a miracle box, and you pull all the top 10 hits from the set, which we all know statistically is going to be impossible. But let's say you do. You get the Charizard VMAX, you get, geez, what's even next? Probably a Rainbow Trainer, Rainbow Salamence or something, I think, is one of the top 10 hits in the set. Let's say you pull all 10 and you sell them at market price. You're only getting $89. So you're only getting half of your money back if you pull all 10 hits, which is impossible. So anyway, Chilling Reign, wow. I won't give any spoilers, but it ranks pretty high up there in this table of Sword and Shield main sets and the ratio. Next one, and make no mistake, this is a pretty damn strong one. Evolving Skies, current booster box price, $405. This next figure absolutely blitzes anything else in Sword and Shield. The top 10 hits, $1,738. Ratio, though, interestingly, not as strong as Chilling Reigns, currently sitting at 4.29 times the cost of the booster box. But man, just take a moment to look at that figure. $1,738 is US dollars. What's that in Australian? Geez, you're pushing, not quite, but you know, $2.5 to $3 grand. that's some serious numbers for a modern set. Like feel free to chime in, anyone at home, but I haven't seen anything like that, I think, forever. Like, forever. Even first edition base set, you could go, 11-year-old me used to go down to the card shop, and a first edition Shadowless Charizard was in the binder there if you wanted to buy it for $50. Blastoise and Venusaur were 20 and 30 respectively. I've just never seen this before. The top 10 hits $1,738. That's just bonkers. Anyway, moving on. Brilliant Stars. Next one. Current booster box price, $146. And the interesting thing about Brilliant Stars is it was always touted as the, I suppose, second best set Sword and Shield will see behind Evolving Skies. Like, it's a Charizard set. It's awesome. Second best. But using this ratio, total hits price from the top 10, surprisingly low. $366, and that includes, of course, the number one chase card, which is the Charizard V Alt Art, which gives us a ratio of 2.5. Is it the second best set behind Evolving Skies? Next one, Astral Radiance. This is another one that surprised me a little bit. And of course, like I was saying, it could be, especially this set being a late one, it could be subject to a reprint. But current box price, it's the second cheapest Sword and Shield box you can buy at $117. But the hits you can pull from it, there's some surprisingly good alt arts in this set. And of course, the main one being the Machamp V alt art. But you've got the Dialga and Palkia. You've also got some other really neat alt arts, and if you add them up, and Trainer Gallery, if you add them up, top 10, $351, which oddly enough gives us an exact ratio of 3. So the top 10 hits are worth 3 times the value of the booster box. Let's keep moving. I don't want to make this video too long. Number 10, Lost Origin. Yeah, that's that's the second last one before Silver Tempest. Lost Origin. Current booster box price, $147. Majority of this is made up, of course, of the beautiful Giratina V. Super jealous. A bloke, quick story, side story. Bloke from work bought his son 2 packs at the local Target. I reckon I've opened 150. He bought his son 2 packs. Cool little 9 or 10-year-old, and pulls himself a Giratina V and was over the moon when I was telling him how much that card's worth. The alt art, of course. So, made up, of course, majority of it by this card, the alt art Giratina, $583, giving us a ratio of 3.96. So 3.96, the box value for the top 10 cards. There are some other sort of strong cards, of course, that Aerodactyl V, which is an absolute stunning looking alt art. And again, like I was saying, subject to reprint, so you could take sort of these last few with a grain of salt, because they do seem somewhat strong before compared to the first block of Sword and Shield. You could also argue they're much better sets. And the final one, Silver Tempest, $142 a box, so very similar to Lost Origin. Total value, majority of which is, of course, made up from this gorgeous Lugia V alt art. Current value of the top 10 hits is $362, giving us a ratio of 2.54. Now, I'm about to jump in and rank them, and if you've watched, you've probably done the sums in your head or looked it up in your head and figured it out in your head, but let's rank them top 11, so 1 through to 11. But please, leave me some comments below. Did some of those ratios, and particularly the hits values, surprise you from some sets? Like, did battle styles surprise you? Let's rank them down here now. So, starting at the bottom, number 11, the worst ratio of hits value to box price is Darkness Ablaze. No good, according to this. Second worst hits value to box price is Base Set. Third worst hits value to box price is Rebel Clash. Fourth worst, or coming 8th on the list, is Vivid Voltage. Surprisingly, at number 7, when it was touted, I guess, as the second best set of the whole Sword and Shield era, especially when it first came out, not so much now, but number 7 is Brilliant Stars. Interesting one. Number 6, the final set. main set, that is, Silver Tempest. Number 5, this one surprised me, Astral Radiance at number 5. Number 4, which really, really surprised me, I didn't expect this at all until I did the sums, is Battle Styles. Number 3, due to some gorgeous alt arts and a strong trainer gallery, Lost Origin. And still currently, of course, box prices at good prices. Number 2, thought it would be Chilling Raiment. No, it's Evolving Skies at number 2. And number 1, ratio of hits to box price, is currently Chilling Rain. So, again, please leave me some comments below. Now, look, this isn't a list of what I think you should invest in from top to worst, but I think it gives you a really, really strong indication of the hits that you can get out of a box in relation to its price. In fact, that's what the equation is. So take out of it what you will, but please leave me some thoughts below. Did some of those surprise you? Was it fair game? Did none of it surprise you? Was it what you thought? Please, love to hear from you all. I always try and get back to everyone. So thanks again for watching, guys. Ta.